Everybody, welcome back to 100% Marks. So this is your match preview for the game against Everton on Sunday. Now, if we're winning this game on Sunday, we'll go from 14th to all the way up to knocking on the door of the top six, which, of course, we're coming into this game on the back of a 1-1 draw against Wolves. Everton, of course, are coming into this game on the back of a 2-0 defeat to Southampton. Now, of course, Steve Bruce is going to have every bit of pressure on his back going into this one up against Carlo Ancelotti's men, because he's going to need to get the results on the board now, because, after that game against Wolves, it was absolutely embarrassing. But I'll touch on that a little bit more as we go on in the video. Now, of course, Everton are going to be perceiving this as a golden opportunity to bounce back from that defeat to Southampton. And, we're going to have to go into this game and prove them wrong. We're going to have to go into this game and show that we're no easy pushovers, and we're going to go and give them a good match and try and get the 3 points out of this game. But it is Everton who are top of the league at this moment, firing on all cylinders. So it is going to be a tough game. It's not going to be an easy pushover opponent. So you're going to have to look at it from that perspective, in the fact that we can't just assume we're going to go in here and pick up all 3 points. That's not the case. But according to the bookies, they're claiming that for Newcastle to pick up all 3 points, it's going to be a 29% chance, which is pretty low. But, we're one of them teams that is known for our ability to surprise opponents, especially against superior opponents as well. We're one of them teams, that can come out of nowhere and just completely dominate against a team, after losing in a match the previous week. And we did that against Man City, when Rafa Benitez was at the helm. And if we can do that again, this time against Everton with Steve Bruce at the helm, is another factor though. But at the end of the day, we did already come back in this game against Everton, when we were playing down at Goodison Park, and Florian Lejeune scored 2 absolutely amazing goals to get back into that game. But looking at it defensively, Newcastle's going to be needing to focus mainly on Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He is their attacking threat in the team. Of course, the England international has banged in 7 goals this season so far for Everton, which is half of their tally, which is crazy numbers. For Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he's really coming into his own this season, and he's starting to prove, that he can be a lethal finisher. So we're going to have to close down them passing lanes. We're going to have to defend very, very hard on him, and try and stop him from getting that finishing touch on one of the passes by James Rodriguez or Richarlison, which, talking about that as well, it's going to be the defensive line, that I want to see doing that job on its own, because we went into the game against Wolves and we had 9 men behind the ball. It wasn't attractive football at all. We sat defensive for the entire game, and then we got very lucky with that late goal by Murphy, from the free kick to pick up the point. And it was just embarrassing to see that from Newcastle, because we're not that kind of team. We might have had some horrible times in these last 13 years under Mike Ashley, but before that, we were Champions League winning. We were Champions League playing side, sorry, not a Champions League winning side, but we're Champions League playing side, and we're always playing in the Champions League, we're always playing in Europe, and, then Mike Ashley comes on the scene, suddenly we've got 2 relegations, we're fighting relegation battles, we've got horrible manager after horrible manager, a little bit glimmer of hope with Rafa Benitez, but then that completely just disappeared and went away, and now we're stuck with Steve Bruce at the helm, which is very unattractive. He plays very defensive football, as we've seen this season. But we're going to need to emulate what Southampton did in their game against Everton. We're going to need to go with that same mentality, cut out the passing lanes, keep very defensive on Dominic Calvert-Lewin, close down, of course, James Rodriguez as well, Richarlison as well. You know, we've got a little bit of luck as well in the fact that Lucas Digne ended up picking up a red card in the game against Southampton as well, so he won't be playing in this game. So we've got a little bit of luck in our favour there, you know, because he's a really good defender for them, so he's not going to be playing for them. That's a bit of an advantage for us. In the game, you know, we've got to be looking at this as well from Everton's perspective, because they're going to be coming into this game thinking, you know, Newcastle's going to park the bus against, where they're going to hit one on the counter. And now we've got to be looking at it from their perspective and thinking that, you know, and we've got to go into this game with a different mentality. We've got to hit them harder, we've got to attack them harder, we've got to go for the throat against Everton in this game. We need to pick up these points, we need to push up away from the relegation zone, because we don't want to be getting in a relegation battle, you know, with Steve Bruce at the helm. He's not the greatest of managers, you know, at the end of the day, and I don't want to see Newcastle United get relegated for a third time under Mike Ashley's ownership. And especially with the news of the takeover going around as well, it's heightened up a little bit more in these past couple of weeks, with, of course, Jimmy Rubin leaving QPR's post, and, of course, all the other stuff that's went on as well. Secondly, the reason why we need to pick up a win in this game as well is none other than Jordan Pickford, the Mackham man, of course, between the sticks for Everton. He's always a joker to watch. You know, with his temperament towards Newcastle. He doesn't like where we don't like him, you know, the feeling's mutual at the end of the day. You know, us Geordies don't like Mackhams, Mackhams don't like Geordies. It's just the way it is up here in the northeast. And, you know, we just got to go into this game and get the win. You know, if we can. If we can't, then at least take a point from Everton out of this game. You know, but we've got to use that Jordan Pickford advantage in our favour, you know, of his temperament towards we've got to use his temper, you know, we've got to use it against him and get his mind completely flustered, you know, so he'll make them mess ups. He's already making them anyway this season. He's been terrible in all competitions this season for Everton. He's letting 2 goals in his last 3 games as well for Everton, which is absolutely beyond a joke from a guy, you know, that's supposed to be England's #1 goalkeeper. It's just absolutely horrendous that even Gareth Southgate's picking him, you know, to be the #1 goalkeeper when there's so many other options out there, you know, like Caldolo or Freddie Woodman, you know, just to mention a few. You know, there's even Nick Pope, which is having a bit of a problem as well this season, but he's still a decent keeper. You know, and anybody's better than Jordan Pickford, and he's terrible. Little arms Pickford, he's just really, really bad. But we've got to look at this game, you know, with a good mentality. 45% possession I want to see from the lads on Sunday. I want to see the ball spread wide on the pitch, you know, getting that service into Maximin, getting that service into Callum Wilson, you know, hopefully Ryan Fraser will get a proper go in the game as well. Miggy Almiron was absolute delight to watch in the game against Wolves as well. He had pace for days, stamina for days. He was absolutely crazy in that game. If we could see a bit more of that in this game against Everton, that'd be even better. You know, it'd be really great to see that. Murphy as well, coming on absolute strengths. He's really good at the minute. He's really proven that he's improved his game and he's willing to be part of the team and part of the starting 11. But let us know your thoughts going into this game on Sunday. Hopefully, you know, Newcastle can come away with the 3 points. If we can't, like I say, I'll take a draw. But my score prediction going into the game with the 3 points in mind, I want to see Newcastle get a nice cheeky 1-0 win against Jordan Pickford. Till next time, remember to like, share, subscribe to 100% Marks, and I'll see you all later. However, that's